Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. Today I wanted to do a recommendations video, but instead of talking about books, I wanted to talk about TV shows. So in honor of Cloaks and Dagger Christmas, which is a readathon hosted by Kate Howe, Kate from the novel Nomad and Mel from Mel's Bookland Adventures, basically you are encouraged to read mysteries during the month of December, and I'm really excited for it. I've already finished my first book for it, which I'm really pleased about. But yeah, I wanted to talk about mystery TV shows because I actually consume more mysteries in the form of TV shows than I do in books. But I don't really know why I prefer the TV variant, and it might just be a habit, and I've just found more stories that has been appealing to me. But I wanted to share my 5 favorite mystery TV shows with you today, and hopefully some of you will find TV shows to check out. And if you have any recommendations for me based on these that I love, I would really love to hear about them in the comments. So without further ado, let's talk about some mystery TV shows. First up is River, which is a quite understated TV series, I would say. It is basically about a police detective who is followed around by a woman that he worked with, but she has passed away and he is hallucinating her. That might be a spoiler, but I don't think it is a problem because it's kind of clear at the quite early on that he is seeing someone that isn't there. So it's, I think, only 6 episodes, but I really love the way that this series is more of a character study than anything else. While it's about him doing his work as a police detective, it's more about his psychology and how this job affects him, and all of the struggles that comes with a job that is so linked with danger and with death, and with the darker sides of humanity. And I think I really appreciated the way that the perspective of getting to see how that affects a person, to have that as being a major part of the everyday life, being a police detective. So I really love this, and the main character is played by Stellan Skarsgård, who is a famous Swedish actor, and he is fantastic in it. So I would highly recommend watching that one. The next one I want to talk about is Alias Grace, which is, as most of you probably know, is a TV adaptation of the Margaret Atwood novel. I haven't read the novel yet, and I do really want to do so. But the story is basically following a woman who is accused of murdering, I think, her boss, or the person she works for. I can't remember the exact situation, but she is accused of several quite bloody murders, and a psychologist is basically charged with trying to figure out if she did it or not, if she had sort of a rage and ended up killing these people, or if something else happened. And because of that, it is the mystery in the sense that it's sort of the psychology of this woman, and did she do it, did she not do it? And most of it is told through going back in time. And I thought that again, this is a very short series. I think, again, it's 6 episodes, but I thought that the production value of this was amazing. The music, the way that it was shot, the costume making, the backgrounds, everything was so spot on and really thought through, and I just thought that it was such a pleasure to watch, a very immersive TV show to watch. And the actress who plays Grace, the main character, was fantastic. So it is one of those TV shows that after watching it, I wanted to watch it again. I wasn't 100% happy with the ending, but I think that might be because of the way that the novel goes. I have been craving rewatching this one, and I think I will sometime during the winter. The next one I want to talk about is Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. This is an Australian TV show that is set during the 20s, and it features Miss Fisher, who is a lady detective. You see the TV show starts off right when she sort of starts with this work, going back to Australia, and takes on a case for her aunt, I think. And she starts working alongside the police, and she, together with Jack, who is the police officer, solve a lot of mysteries and crimes. But I just love Miss Fisher as a character. She's so set in herself and very confident. She knows what she wants. She doesn't care if people judge her, and she is still able to appreciate other people's strengths even when they don't like her. Even though they can't appreciate her difference, she's still able to look past their aggression. I think partly she is just a fantastic character in the sense that she is different and proud of it. Also, I really like that she gets into scrapes quite a lot because of the work that she does, but she ends up always saving herself right before Jack, the police officer, is coming to save her. She has always succeeded in saving herself, and that is something I really, really appreciate with a crime story like this, where a female character is in the forefront. Having her be so filled with agency is something that is so rare, and it is the music and the atmosphere and everything. It's, as I said, it's set during the 20s and follows on in the 30s. It's just so filled with joy and warmth, and the chemistry between the two main leads is just so palpable. I really love this TV show, and I've actually rewatched this at least twice. The next one, which is Foyles War, and this is follows a man called Foyle, who is also a police detective, and it's set during the Second World War, and he is he's sort of in charge with small crimes because he argued. I think he criticized the leading groups of the police force, and he ended up sort of being placed in this small town and dealing with minor crimes in comparison to the war effort. He ends up being a quite vital part of the work against crime in this area, and he, together with a woman who is charged as his driver, solves crimes together, and they are eventually joined by another man who was hurt in the war. So one of the things I love about this is that it's set during the Second World War. Foyles War shows what the everyday person was experiencing during the Second World War in Britain, and I just really love the way that it was so vividly portrayed. Another reason I love this TV show is because of Foyle. He has this presence, and he is so good at not judging people. He has so much patience with people he talks to and works with, and it really makes him a very compassionate person and character. I feel like Foyles War, in comparison to some of the other ones here, is very underrated. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, and it is definitely one of my favorites. So I would highly, highly recommend it if you are someone who enjoys Second World War stories, or you're just looking for a good mystery show and police detective or procedural or whatever, then I would highly recommend this one. And also partly because Foyle working together with the other two just adds a really good trio, and the way that the trio works together really adds something to this TV show. Last up is BBC Sherlock, which is an obvious choice, but I have to say it. I feel like I love Sherlock Holmes as a character. I love the original stories of Sherlock and Watson, and I have watched quite a lot of adaptations, and I've basically enjoyed all of them. But I think in terms of interpretation, as the quality of interpretation, I think BBC Sherlock is the best I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, obviously, so that might change over time. But I think one of the things I love about BBC Sherlock is that it really it's so good at twisting the way that the story could unfold. It always leaves me just a little bit surprised at the way that the story ended up going, the direction that the story ended up going. Being someone who watches a lot of mysteries, I feel like I'm more often than not expecting what is coming, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a thing that hinders my enjoyment of a TV show, but it isn't as active in terms of watching when you know exactly what is going on and what will come to the end. But with Sherlock, I feel like even though I think I know what's going on, it always ends up having a twist, and it's a very enjoyable experience to have that, to be surprised. And while I think BBC Sherlock sometimes can be slightly too theatrical and overly dramatic in the twists, I still enjoy just having that experience, and I think a lot of the time it's very fresh and very on point with Sherlock as a character set in the more modern time, how he could presumably act, and I guess I just enjoy the actors who play these characters as well, their interaction. It isn't a perfect TV show. As I said, it can be a bit theatrical, but I still really enjoyed the process of watching it, and I also know that it stands up to rewatching because, again, this is one of those I have rewatched a few times. Let me know if you've watched any of these and what you thought of them. Let me know if you have any recommendations for me based on what I enjoyed and shared with you today. I hope you're having a really good day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.